Good evening and welcome back to We Are the South Stand. Firstly, apologies for the lack of content over the last Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, 3 days. I did do a match reaction, quick match reaction while out of the country. But yeah, doing content while drunk. Although every time I go away, I take my laptop and my webcam with all the intent. I really, I'm going to do loads of content. You get over there, you have a few drinks and think, I can't do content because I'm just going to be chatting.
You got to have a break. You got to give yourself breaks, so Daps. That's the key. It's all about balance.
Yeah, true. Do you know what, bro? I can't lie. Look, I had a good time, but I'm ready to just not go away anymore. I'm ready to not go out drinking, and I'm ready to actually just be at home for a little while and But that being said, I'm going to Chester Races this weekend for 2 days with.
Right, so that thought process is in the bin immediately.
Yeah. And then when I get back from there, I'm going to be saying, right, because I actually I want to kind of stop drinking for a month or two, but then events just keep getting thrown at me, because then after that, it's my missus' birthday, mid-September. She's like, oh, we've got to go away. It's my 30th. So I'm like, oh, fucking hell.
Yeah, it's all go, isn't it?
Yeah. Anyway, I did get to watch the Manchester City game in my hotel. They had it on. The good news is quite a lot of Moroccans seem to quite like Manchester City. So got to watch the game with my 5 friends that are all Arsenal fans. Oh, no, 4 of them are Arsenal fans. And one of them, I didn't realise, is a fucking Spurs fan. So, yeah, that was great fun. Although, weirdly, the Arsenal lot wanted us to win.
Huh?
Which, I know. And they were like, when I was like, really? And they were like, yeah, well, if United play, you always want them to lose, right? I was like, if United play Arsenal, it's a win-win for me. Whoever.
You know, if United play Liverpool, who do you want to win that?
Yeah, it's just
Liverpool have every day of the week, even though they might win a title. Still Liverpool for me.
So for me, it's a win-win.
Oh, it depends on title race context for me.
Yeah.
No,
exactly
I can't bring myself to do it. Nobbins, I can't.
Yeah. Back end of the season, if a United win, means there's a good chance we win the league.
They both suffer. That's fine. They can't win.
But yeah, anyway, Nobbins, I'm going to ask you first, because I'm hoping your answer is going to be better than Pulpy's. How are you?
What? Okay, that wasn't the question I was expecting. Yeah, I'm good, thank you. Yeah.
Good. Right, Pulpy, how are you?
I'm well, mate. I'm just wearing a sling for cosplay. So I thought I'd tore my ligament at the gym doing like mad workouts, but it turns out I just banged my elbow and got a funny bone injury, which is inflamed. And now when you turn 43, your body starts to fall apart at the most casual of brushings with a table. There you go.
Yeah, that's about right.
So you're washed, basically. Right. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, I'm done, mate. Yeah. If it's not this, it'll be something else next week. So yeah.
See, this is the thing. I got back around about 2 a.m. yesterday, right? But I actually didn't go out on the last night because I was like, do you know what? So we had a really, really mint cinema room in our villa, right? And we spent the last day round the pool. And then when it got to about 8 o'clock, we were like, should we go and watch Scarface in the cinema room?
Oh, is that what you're watching? I've seen it.
Yeah. So we went and watched Scarface in the cinema room, right? And by about halfway through the film, I was like, I'm not going out. I'm so relaxed in this villa. There's no way I want to leave this villa to go out. So stayed there. So I didn't even get a late night that night. Got back about 2 a.m. yesterday. I have slept all day today. Now, when I was younger, I wouldn't do that. I just... Getting old. Right, but people, please do make sure you go in and checking out the sponsors. Of course, we are sponsored by Bowen Pies, the best pies. My preference is always the Balti. But go and check out, use the QR code and get, I think it's 15% off. With Big Steve MCFC as well, check out. And of course, make sure you go and check out OK Jersey for the best football shirts, £15 every single time. Our jerseys are on the way. Right. So the season started so well with a great win over Wolves, 4-0 win. And then great times. And off the back of a Palermo win 3-0. So 7 goals in 2 games. And then we faced a Spurs team without Kulusevski. Son has gone. Eze, the laughing stock of North London, the day after them becoming the laughing stock of North London, losing out on Eze to Arsenal. But with new manager, and I did say in my match preview that for me, the biggest threat was their new manager. Because I really, really rate Thomas Frank. Right, Nobbins, where did it all go wrong?
Oh gosh, that's a loaded question. There's a lot to dissect.
Yes,
I can't cover everything.
Actually, your 5 things learned was really good, by the way.
Thank you very much. Yes. Yeah, it was all. There was a lot going on. So you mentioned Thomas Frank, and yes, that was a thing. We saw last season, and indeed seasons bygone, that his Brentford side always causes City problems. Yeah. One of the main reasons for that is because best example is at the Etihad last year. He set his team up really aggressively, really high, man-to-man marking. So it meant that City struggled to build up from the back as efficiently. It sort of like suffocated City in. There was always a world where Spurs would play a back 5 and sit deep, and lots of people predicted that. But there was also a world where Frank actually went, I'm going to take the game to you and see what you can do about it. And it was the latter rather than the former that happened. Based on like how Pep lines us up, I wonder if he was expecting a more conservative Spurs side playing Shirky in the centre. For example, on his debut, his first start for City in the league, it seemed like quite a bold move. So I wonder if he was like maybe caught off guard by that. But yeah, this was one of the games where we miss an Ederson type of player. Against Brentford, he literally just bypasses the entire press. He passes it to Haaland. Haaland scores a goal. That's how we ultimately scored I think it was the equaliser, or maybe it was the goal that ultimately won the game. It was one of them either way. And it was just a really good way to bypass the press. Sorry.
And at one point, Trafford actually did make one of those passes.
Yes, exactly. Yes. Yeah. It was around the 10th minute, I think it was. This is something that I go into a bit more detail in my analysis video. But basically, Spence was pushed up really high on Lewis. So Spence, their left back, was pushed up like just outside our penalty box. So they only had 3 players at the back. So there was a world where, again, in the past, and Brentford, he did with Brentford before, where you can just play the long pass into Haaland, flicks on for Marmoush, and who knows what can happen. As you say, that did nearly happen. We didn't exploit that enough. I don't know if that was an instruction or simply because Trafford isn't Ederson and maybe he's not as comfortable attempting those passes yet. Regardless, that's what happened. And that was a big weapon that we lost, unfortunately, with Ederson not being on the pitch. Spurs did press well, but and I think that we'll maybe need to look for solutions in playing a different back line to try to deal with teams, because now that we are in a post-Ederson world, if Ederson leaves, more teams are going to do that to us. They're going to respect our ability to play out from the back less. So therefore, they're going to be far braver. So we might need to live in that world. We need to explore options of how to build a better ball-playing back 4. That might involve Ruben Diaz not starting, for example. But also, like, City were just bad in front of goal as well.
Yeah.
And I was just going to say that I think off-screen, Daps, you were saying, did we actually play that bad? And this is one of the reasons why I'm pushing back on the idea that City were dross and garbage, because, I mean, we're garbage in front of goal, absolutely, but this idea that Spurs were this imperious, impenetrable defence, I don't think I accept, because Marmoush had a 1v1, that should go in the back of the net.
Yeah.
Haaland had a clear header from Shirky cross, that should go in. Haaland somehow bottles the pass to Shirky, is it, when like Bob wins it back off the press, that's a tap in. Rodri had a free header from a Foden corner. That should be a goal. There were a number of moments, like Reinders' decision-making was bad in the final third as well. So there were a number of unfortunate instances for City, I think, in front of goal. And credit to Spurs for how they set up. It was brave and whatnot. Yeah. But to me, I don't accept that City were really bad and Spurs were perfect. I think there's more to it than that for me.
And that's what I took from the game. I mean, look, the problem is now when we watch a game, and it certainly is content creators and, let's say, active members of social media, we know the consequences of any loss, right? and it's meltdown, and it's blame, and it's right, Pulpy. Straight away, you kind of know. And the mad thing is, I mean, I said this offline and I think I did tweet before the game. When we saw the lineup, I tweeted saying, right, everyone, you've got what you asked for this game. Cherki starting over Bernardo. It's what everyone's been asking for. I don't know if it might have even been you, Nobbins, but somebody I spoke to last week, we were saying, don't think Cherki should start next week.
Yes, that would have been me, yes.
Yeah.
Well, I did say that anyway, so yeah.
Yeah. But straight away, I looked at it and said the only thing that will be moaned about is Kuzanov over Diaz. So I think I've seen somebody tweet today, might have been you, Pulpy, that it's funny that people have been, asking for the uncles to be dropped. But then when the uncles are all dropped and none of them start, people start tweeting, why aren't any of the uncles playing? And it's like...
You can never win. There's always going to be an extreme opinion on everything.
That's where I'm going with this.
Those that got their wish that the older boys played, then turn their attention to something else. Well, they didn't play, but Kuznets didn't play, so Kuznets didn't play. So this is the problem, or that's the problem. When people don't want to hear it, but it's like people assume that Pep sits in training with his eyes closed, doesn't pay any attention, doesn't listen to what they're saying, and the stuff they work on in training every day. Kuznets might just not be that guy right now. Yes, we know he's fantastic and he's got his pace, and the people online are never, ever going to rest until they see him play. The same way they're never going to rest until they see Gonzalez play. And now they demanded Cherki to play and it didn't work out. So it's like, you just need to chill and just relax and let the process take its time. Kuznets will get his time. If he's good enough, he will play. And he's one of them sort of players that once he gets in, he'll probably be able to get out of the team. Right? I'm rightly so. But just wanting him to play because you think it's the answer is it's not going to work like that. I think if you go back to the actual game, the biggest mistake for me was the fact that he left Bernardo out and played these three lads in midfield. I mean, how many starts has Gonzalez had? About 8 or 9.
Right. So you two,
can't be many. So we've only had half a dozen starts between them in the Premier League, and to expect something from them three straight off the bat at home against a pretty organised Tottenham team with a good manager, it's really difficult to expect anything to go our way there. And if it did, I think it's more likely the probability that we got away one rather than it was good tactics, because other than the first 10-12 minutes we was pretty average.
So I saw someone tweet and I thought this was spot on, and I've got a comment I'm about to put up, and I think between the two of you, you've covered the 2 points made in the tweet and the one comment off. So the 2 comments in the tweet were in Premier League games, it's you win games by 1, being clinical. Spot on. We weren't clinical enough, right? And 2, experience in midfield, right? We had no experience in midfield, right? No, and again, mine is 27, but we had no.
They don't see the value of it, dude. They don't see the value.
Yeah, but experience is one of the most underplayed attributes. It seems to be at the moment when you talk about experience, and what people will say is experience is irrelevant. Look at Barcelona, right? That is their response. It's standard. Look at Yamal, right? And it's like, okay, so you've managed to name one player that has no experience who's come in absolutely cooking. Well done, right?
But Barcelona had no choice but to throw Yamal in because of their financial situation. For every one of those success stories like that, there's always a reason behind it.
Yeah. And here's the other thing. This one. Is there some truth in this?
Someone said they had 9 preseason games, right?
And they've had 9 preseason games, so they are more up to speed than Manchester City.
They're pretty much playing in November now. They're like November sort of fitness levels than what we are, which have had like 2 weeks.
And I'm not. By the way, I'm not downplaying. Like, for me, I'd said before the game that Gonzalez looked good against, looked really good against Wolves, right? But this is a game that we should, you can't just see a player once and go, do you know what? Yeah, everything's going to be fine. You need to see them in certain games. And I think, unfortunately, with him, the fact of having Cherki next to him and not having Bernardo next to him is probably a massive thing. The other thing I do want to speak on is Trafford, right? Now, from the minute I've seen him at City, Let's go back to the Palermo game. I think about 10 minutes in, he was put under pressure with a pass back to him, and he probably took a touch that maybe he shouldn't have took, right?
Yeah,
and he got closed down, and he nearly lost the ball, right? And my take from that was, do you know what? It happens. The fact that he's comfortable using his feet and he's willing to feet for our system is a good thing, right? And the fact that for the rest of the game, he carried on. He didn't change. He didn't start going long every single time the ball was played back to him. Thought that's a good thing, because we do need a player that is comfortable with using the ball at his feet and not one that just starts going long every single time out of nerves of once losing it. However, that pass for the second goal was passing out from the back for the sake of it, right? For me, if you look at him playing the ball to, was it John Stones? It was, wasn't it? Was it Stones he played? Was it Stones that Trafford played the ball to when the ball was for the second goal?
Diaz plays it to him.
Trafford plays the ball to who?
When he loses it, he tries to find Nico.
Was it Nico? Right, okay. Ultimately, there's someone right in front of Trafford. Trafford plays the ball to them, knowing that there is a forward about to press them. Who was that? Was that Nico?
Nico is being pressed by Sarr, I think.
Right, thank you. But the thing is, Nico didn't know Sarr was right behind him. However, Trafford did. And to play that pass to him, I just think was, for me, a little bit too much trying to play out from the back, right? Like we get it. You're comfortable playing out from the back, but at times you don't always need to play out from the back. Like and in times like that, when you've got a Tottenham team that are pressing you so violently, and you can see, the minute the ball leaves Trafford's feet, you can see Sarr inject some pace in to get in front of Nico, right? And for me, it was like too close to the goal to be doing that. I feel for
it comes with experience with that, though, doesn't it? It comes out now.
Absolutely.
He'll never have to do that again.
I feel for
in his mind, he'll know if the pass isn't on, it's so much at risk now. He can't keep doing that unless he is an experienced goalkeeper and doing that.
Yeah.
I imagine Edison made that mistakes when he was younger as well. He just would have done.
Yeah, probably would have done. You're right.
In fact, he did, didn't he, in his debut season? He had a couple of those.
Yeah.
Didn't he?
Even going back further to Benfica when he was probably playing young there.
I see. Yeah, even further. Yeah, no,
make
absolutely.
those mistakes. You just sometimes there's more consequences to it when there's bigger stakes involved.
Yeah, definitely.
I just think he should have, at that point, it was, for me, I love that you can play out from the back, Trafford, and I really do believe Trafford can play out from the back, because I've gone and studied it, right? Because I thought it's very important we have a keeper like that. But I just feel like at the moment, it's almost becoming forced. And it was, and unfortunately, at 1-0 down, I think we could have got back into the game. The minute the game went to 2-0 down, I thought this is going to be difficult, very difficult, because again, it's Thomas Frank, and I really, really respect Thomas Frank as a manager.
Yeah, I think that also, of course, like Trafford has to take the vast majority of the blame. Like one of the things that I explored as well was like, because Diaz starts that goal kick off, doesn't he? Why is Diaz doing that? Why doesn't he just give it to Trafford and do what we did in like the 10th minute where we found Marmoush?
Yeah.
Because if the camera angle shows the Spurs are still setting up in their back three and Haaland is attacking them, and like Marmoush is ready to make the run on. So the correct decision was to not even play it short at all with like the centre-back passing to the keeper. The actual thing to do was for the goalkeeper to just try to find Haaland like he did, like 20, 30 minutes ago, whenever it was. So of course, like Trafford, terrible decision making there. Hopefully he learns from it. But in addition to that, I can't really take Diaz out of the full line of fire for the blame either. Because again, that's the captain. He's supposed to be experienced. He knows it's the 47th, 48th minute. We're approaching the end of the first half. Don't concede another goal. We've just seen how it nearly worked with Haaland. We saw how it worked with Frank's Brentford last season. Just do it again. Do it again. So that was a very odd decision. Whoever's decision that was to take the goal kick short, I assume it was Diaz because he had the ball. But yeah, it was frustrating, very frustrating for sure.
Yeah. Interesting people, please make sure you are smashing the like button. 300 people in here. There is only 88, 90 likes. Come on. Those likes should be easily about 150. If you could, please, it will help the channel, help push this video out to more people. Diaz, yeah, it's so funny because I think if we go back to, again, after the Wolves game, we were praising how good the defence was. A few passes also, though, in the middle of the pitch that were a bit wayward as well. Rico in the middle of the park for me. Right, let's. Do you think Rico starting was the right thing? Or
I wouldn't have started him. I didn't start him in my preview. I started Nunes because of the pace. Of Spurs' forwards. And the first goal isn't Lewis's fault, by the way. Obviously, it's Diaz's fault, it's Stones' fault, whatever. Yeah. But there is no doubt that if Nunes was where Lewis was, he's got the pace to keep up with him, and that goal doesn't go in. That's not Lewis's fault that he's not that quick, but it's just the point. And I think, and I get it. I get why you'd want Lewis in there because he's our best. He's like better at build up than Nunes. I understand that, but at the same time, I think you've got to look at the opposition sometimes and go, right, well, they've got Johnson, who's done us before for pace. You've got Kudus, who is obviously a pacey demon as well. I don't know. I think the Nunes probably should have started for me.
Again, same. Yeah. I mean, I think that was the other thing I said that was a threat was the pace of Spurs. And and I did also see, I don't know, there was a few moments in the first half for me that it just looked like we looked quite nervous. Some of our passing looked a little bit nervous. And that was probably caused by the fact of how they were pressing us so heavily, right? And how they were marking us man to man, that the players were like, and do you know something?
We didn't have a midfield, Daps. We didn't have an experienced midfield that can handle being pressed and working together and understanding everyone's positions in the pitch and understanding that, sometimes the build-up's got to be slower, a bit faster. We didn't have that. As good as Nico's been, and to be fair, I've seen his stats today that he's won the most tackles in the league this year. That's all good and well, but he isn't experienced enough to play in the Premier League and dictate a tempo like we needed.
Yeah,
he just isn't.
Yeah.
And in games like that, where you need someone to get the game by the scruff of the neck and slow things down, we didn't have that, and that's why there's not much of an outball. It was a couple of passes. One was a bit shaky, and then it was like, oh, we're back on the back foot again, and we lose possession, and it's like the turnover's quick, and we never got anything going because of that.
I think another thing is when we go in previous. So my mates I was watching it with, who are Arsenal fans, one of them in particular kept saying to me, even at 2-0 down, Daps, you're still gonna get something out of this. One goal and everything changes. But to me, I never got that feeling. And I think that is that, look, if this was a City team 2 years ago, would we have? Maybe, because we did that quite often. But we've lost that mojo now. The confidence that we have to remember that last season, the steam train that we were stopped. Right, and when a steam train, when a lorry stops, it takes a while to work back through the gears and get it going again. Right, and you can have a good game, but still, your players' confidence is not where it was a year ago. What was not where it is 2 years ago. And I also do think that at no point did, until maybe when Foden and Rodri came on. I think in fact, do you know what? Let's stop this halfway through. Second half, we were a lot better, substantially better.
Oh, I don't agree.
I don't think it got any better, mate, from the first 18 minutes.
I would say that, well, it depends which bit of the second half you're talking about. I think the start of the second half was good because that's when we should have had that tap in with Haaland's thing to Shirky. The subs happened, and Bernardo had one of the worst games I've ever seen him play.
Agreed.
That happened.
That.
So that was what, minute 55 through to 75? That 20-minute period was god awful and horrendous, and that was like the game was probably lost in that period because we wasted so much time. But then the 75th minute, Rodri Foden came, and I thought City looked good. So I think it depends which bit of the second half.
I wouldn't disagree with that. For me, I am meaning the way we ended the game. I'm not meaning that period. I had, like I said, I was drinking, so there was that period. I forgot about that. But I again, first half though, I thought the first half was flat as hell. I think what didn't help us in the first half as well. The first half for me was because it was so stop and start, and that's where I felt it was very flat in the first half, very, very flat.
It depends which bit of the first half you're talking about. The first 35 minutes, we were really good.
What
really
minute
good.
What minute did Aït-Nouri go off? Because I think that's when, for me, the game
23.
changed. I think once Ake came on, I think that was when things started.
That definitely took away some impetus down the left side, 100%. I can't remember. I'm going to have to speak amongst yourselves. I'm going to get the timestamps of like when those chances were, because I'm sure there were some when Ake came on as well. Sorry.
He just kind of like
carry on.
He seemed unfit. He seemed so off it in terms of match fitness and physical fitness that he just seemed like we'd brought on an inferior player, and that's not always the case with us. Our subs, it does look like he had. It took a while to get up to speed, and I think that sort of like it killed us because I know he didn't have the best game, but he had some balance that we need on that side. He was overlapping. He was doing a bit of that. You know what I mean? And when Ake came on, it was just sort of like. For me, the table sort of turned to them there, and that's when it sort of faded out the first half.
So
I mean, listen, like I said, I was drinking. However, in that first half, at no point did I think we were going to score. And people can say we had chances. At no point did I think we were going to score. Not once.
Marmoush should have scored. He should have scored that.
Yes, I've just double checked, and to be fair, City's the two best City chances in the first half did come after Aït-Nouri went off. So I would agree that overall City looked better, but I don't think I can agree with you saying that it didn't look like we were going to score, because literally Marmoush was 1-on-1 with the goalkeeper like 4 minutes after.
Oh, I hear you. I didn't.
And then Haaland had that header from the Cherki one, and that's
But I didn't think he was going to score. Marmoush, I did not, because was that Marmoush's second chance?
There was the first one, which was from a really tight angle. Which, to be fair, this one though, he's 1-on-1. He's got to score that every single day. Yeah.
I hear it, but bro, you know where sometimes you just get a feeling we ain't scoring here. And when he was on the ball, and before the game, I was very, very much. I think Marmoush gets a brace, right? But there was something about it that day, and I didn't think we were going to score, bro.
My faith in Marmoush went when he was like in acres of space and fell over. I just thought that right there is a moment where this isn't going to go our way today.
That was a bit annoying, wasn't it? Yeah,
because he was in acres of space and the ball was perfect. He just sort of crumbled himself.
Hold on, was that?
Here we go. It's one of those days.
Was that the ball from? Was that the long ball from the right to left that he jumped up to try and control?
Yeah, I think that was Cherki, was it, with the switch?
Yeah, and it was. I remember saying at the time that's the type that Mahrez is bringing that down perfectly, and I don't know if
he brings that down and has a good first touch and he's in on goal and scores there. He just took his concentration away and just levels in it.
Yeah, it's tricky. And then even at the start of the second half, we had that one where Haaland's he's just like got to play like a 2-yard pass. To Cherki, and it's literally the definition of a tap in. And that's what's so interesting. I think that for me was the main tale of the match. It was Spurs caused us some problems in the build-up. Yeah. We also caused them a lot of problems in the build-up, like that one where the ball comes to Reinders on the edge of the box, and he tries this weird little Trivella first-time flick, which just goes horrendously out of nowhere. Yeah. And then obviously we gifted them a goal with our goalkeeper, and they did their best to give us a goal with their goalkeeper, like Vicario selling Van der Ven short, and then Bob picking it up, and as I say, that should be a tap-in. So there were a lot of reflective moments there. I think the difference was in the finer details where Spurs they finished their chances and they punished us and they were ruthless and they were clinical, whereas we just weren't. And I think for me, that's the main tale of the match.
On that Haaland chance where we put it across the goal and there's no one there, as a clinical number 9,
or just go for it,
as a clinical number 9 for him, if he was on the receiving end of that pass, he would go ape shit. You know, he understands the importance of a good pass. How he can't get that right there, knowing that he's usually on the other end of that, and it's got to be perfect to put it in. That was a disappointing part. How have you fumbled a 6-yard pass to someone to an open net?
Yeah,
but if that was the way around, mate, you'd be going. Absolutely, it has to be right, and everyone finds you in those situations.
Yeah, exactly. Especially Pope, when like in the first half, he played a much harder, perfect through ball into Marmoush. Yeah. So he's able to do like, I'd expect that's like a Kevin De Bruyne-esque sort of pass, or like David Silva. And so he can do that, but then he can't play the simple 2-yard passes. It was very frustrating. It's just very frustrating.
To be fair, I thought was one of Haaland's worst games for a long time. Nobbins, you're in the South Stand, right? I remember seeing your pictures. You're South,
Yes. Yeah.
like you're on third tier or something like that.
Mhm. Yeah.
Well, I was a bit further away than you, but I could see it's probably because of Trafford. Every time Trafford got the ball, he was like 5 yards away, further where he should be for a loop ball to head it. He was always 5 yards off. The diagonal was 5 yards too far. He just seemed off it. That's probably got something to do with the coercion of Ederson knows exactly where he's going to be, and Trafford probably doesn't yet. But I think Haaland just seemed 5 yards off everything. He was always out of place. He was a bit too far. I just think, and he's other than that pass that he made, that little dribble, I just think he's all around game.
I think that's what Steve's talking about.
That was gorgeous, to be fair.
Other than that, though, I think he was just.
Was that the pass in for Marmoush?
Everything else. That simple head. He should have scored that header, and he just little bits. He was just off it. When you're so good and you're 20% off it, it shows, and it did for me.
Do you know what Marmoush? Haaland's been a bit
shit in the air.
Yeah, for a little while.
There's no getting around that.
Yeah.
I know it's not as simple as tall striker equals good in the air, but if you're 6'5" or 6'6", however tall he is, and you're a big lad and you're a strong lad and you're a clinical number 9 in theory, you should be able to do a simple header on target.
It should be going up like that. I don't know how old he was when he was 15, 16, but if you're 6 foot odd when you're 15, 16, you've got to be making the most of that as a skill. You've got to be. Even to a competent level, unless I'll be honest, he's not even competent, is he?
Exactly. We're not asking him to be Drogba or Andy Carroll. Just be competent, as you say. And I get it. It's not as simple as tall player equals good in the air, but there is a level. You'd think there's a minimum bar here.
Yeah, he's just not like that, is he? Yeah,
surely. Yeah, and he's never been. To be fair, he was never even that at Dortmund as well. And it's something that should be being improved upon in training and in coaching, because it is such a valuable asset. Like, you're so tall, and he's got such a fantastic leap as well. If you could utilize
that should be 10 extra goals a season easily.
Yeah. Going back, has he always been like this? Because I'm sure first season he was bagging quite a few. There is a thing that Haaland. There's always been that thing that Haaland seems to like using his feet sometimes in positions that you think just use your head, right?
Some of the goals, some
of those weird volleys where you think, bro, just stand still and it's going to be on your head, right? Yeah. So, but Nobbins, has he always been bad with his head, or is it me?
Yeah.
First season.
I'm pretty sure it's even like when I was watching him at Dortmund, he wasn't particularly good. Like, I know it was last season or the season before where it was against United. It was at Old Trafford. And he had like a tap in with the header, and he just like hits it straight to Onana. And then 5 minutes later, he has a carbon copy header, and this one goes in the back of the net. So he can clearly do it. It's clearly in there somewhere. It's just about being consistent with it. And I'd assume that just comes with like coaching and like time on the training ground, but it shouldn't be that hard. I feel
he's so composed on his feet. Why is he not even more composed with his head? It should be the same thing.
Yeah,
he should be. At the moment, he's less than 50-50 on headers, isn't he? If you put 4 crosses into him, I'm expecting to probably only score 1 out of the 4. When really he needs to be the sort of player where you're going to get 3 out of 4. He needs to be that.
Yeah,
that
definitely.
clinical.
Especially if it's put on a plate for you,
on
like
a plate, yeah. The half chances, I mean, you missed those, but the ones where the XG is well and truly as close to 1 as you're going to get, he needs to be scoring.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, like if Shane Long, who was a short footballer in relative terms, can be elite in the air, and I feel like Haaland should be, at least that similar-ish level. I don't know.
Yeah.
It is quite frustrating.
Another stranger thing is, he's so good defensively with the headers as well. It's like he's just that one piece. He's just been able to score with it.
Yeah. A couple of super chats just quickly. Amar saying the only person I blame is Pep, outsmarted by Frank. And the next one is, I know this is controversial. We needed Doku earlier.
He should have started the same team. The same team should have started for me.
What, not even changed Doku for Marmoush? Not one change, not Rico for Nunez, just started the same team.
If the same team starts and we're 2-0 down, then you take Bernardo off and bring Shirky on. You don't take off a creative player when you're 2-0 down and put on a workhorse. The subs didn't reflect the score. That makes sense.
Yeah.
It
Do you know
does,
what?
yeah.
Sorry, just quickly, everyone in the chat, I don't know what is going on here. I don't know if this is the same person using 10 different accounts, but asking me if I've left NAF. I mean, literally, look behind me, right? I started the channel. I've been on holiday, people saying, "Oh, we haven't seen you on there. You haven't seen me on here either. I've been away."
Aren't you in the NAF studio as well, using all the gear right now?
Bro, literally, right? It's in my house. Yeah, so it's not possible for me to leave Never a Foul. Never a Foul would have to leave me. But more so, when you're saying, "Oh, we miss you cooking," people. Well, even if I was on Never a Foul, trust me, I would have been cooking anyone in the last 4 days. I would have been absolutely getting rinsed. So I'm kind of almost happy that I haven't been on Never a Foul the last 4 days. But I will be back on there either later tonight or I would say tomorrow, but maybe not tomorrow because I'm taking my daughter to London for the day. But I will be back on there soon. Right, Nobbins, I think you've got some stats in front of you. Sorry to go back to this, but how many chances? Oh, no. You went and looked at what minutes our chances came in.
Oh, yeah, because I had the screenshots of the game.
So do you know what minutes what minutes Tottenham had their chances in?
I wrote it down on my phone.
I thought, God, you're good.
I take notes. Where?
Well, you can't say without Nobbins.
Do you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to take notes. I'm going to take notes from Nobbins, right? And I'm going to start taking notes.
34-30 was the Johnson goal. 46-20 was the second goal.
Any other chances?
Oh, there was that one where Rodri headed it back in like the 80-ish minutes, and Trafford was forced into a double save.
Yeah, right. But apart from that, because I can't think of too much in the second half.
They had a shot which was always going wide following a free kick. Porro.
Yep.
I think, yes. They were clinical, essentially. They didn't need any more chances, did they?
No. And to be fair to them, they did defend with their bodies in the second half. They were throwing their bodies in front of everything.
Definitely, like in particular that Van de Ven block, from the Doku Foden link up, because it's a really good bit of play by Doku and Foden, and it is, unfortunately for us, it is just quite a good block by Van de Ven, to be fair, because that could have easily been a goal, but for an amazing block. So you've got to give Van de Ven credit for that there, absolutely.
Right, so off the back of this, sorry, one more super chat from J Fresh Stunner. Haaland has too many holes in his game, even Little Kun was better in the air. So for me, elite level striker of that pass had all those things. Yeah. Still scores a lot of goals though, doesn't he? Come on.
Yeah. If he scores like 30 in the league, we'll forgive him.
Yeah. Facts. Big facts. Right. So something I want to come back to, you said, Nobbins, and I'm trying to think from previous streams, right, of your view on Diaz overall.
Okay, yes.
Have you, and I can't remember, I can't remember if you are, right, so LB, I know that LB, has wanted Kuzanov to be given a chance, right, and over Diaz. But I can't remember. I don't think you have been screaming out loud for that.
No, I like Kusanov, and I think that he is the long-term replacement for Diaz, and I think that he is part of my long-term partnership. But following the Spurs game, and which we already knew it was going to be bad, or worse, with the build-up situation, but following the Spurs game, and if we persist to play like that, and more worryingly, if we go with a goalkeeper who is worse on the ball, then I do think that you have to double down on your best ball-playing defenders. And that means Gvardiol and Stones have to play every single game possible, if we bring in a goalkeeper who's worse playing out from the back. Because what you saw against Spurs, it will get worse if we bring in a goalkeeper who's worse on the ball. So if you're going to do that, the way to mitigate that, to try to mitigate it, is to ensure that your best ball players are on the pitch. And the way to do that is to start, obviously, Gvardiol, who's the best left-footed defender at the club, and Stones is obviously the best on-ball goalkeeper along with Gvardiol. So, yes, I would drop Diaz based on that, but I'm not doing it to bring in Kusanov, even though I think long term Gvardiol-Kusanov is the best partnership, because I think they would partner each other better.
Yeah.
For me, it's too soon. I think that, especially with the goalkeeper situation, if it is a new goalkeeper, like if Ederson leaves, for example, do I want to, at the same time as introducing a new goalkeeper, also try to bleed in Kusanov on a long-term basis? I don't know if that's what I would opt for. So I'd go for Gvardiol Stones if they are available based on that.
So you're not in agreement with this. Sorry, I actually think this is a mental statement, but there we go. Juma Bar and Kusanov stabilizes our defense.
I mean, Bar's in Nice. Sorry, Paul.
No, I'm saying in a League Two, in a League Cup game against Northampton Town. Yeah, absolutely.
See, the mad thing is, right, that
maybe in 3 years, to be fair, maybe in like 3 years, because I think
they're both quality defenders.
Yeah, I think Kusanov will be there in like a season or so, maybe even this season. Bar is 19.
Yeah.
So yeah, sorry, Paul.
No. I was.
Oh, sorry, I thought you were saying something.
No, I was signaling someone in the chat, mate. Sorry.
Oh, sorry.
About arm wrestling bears.
Foggy actually asking another injury, and I was like, yeah, another one.
No, but look, I think both of these defenders are going to have a bright future. But if I look at that game at the weekend, and I was about to move on to this anyway, right? I think there is a lot of validity. I'm not going to pronounce
validity.
Right. Thank you very much, Nobbins.
No worries.
In what Polpy said about the lack of experience in midfield, right? We just didn't have experience in that midfield, right? But again, based on that game, are we really saying that an 18-year-old and a 20, maybe Kusanov might be 21, maybe 20?
He's 21, yeah.
21, right? And 18 and 21 are going to come in and stabilize our defense is absolutely insane.
Yeah, it's far too soon certainly it's far too soon for Bar, and Kusanov is off the level where he needs to be given an occasional game every now and then, but it's certainly I think it's too soon for him to be given that main mantle to partner Gvardiol right now. I think that'll be a little bit crazy given the context of everything else at City happening right now. There's so many unknowns. I don't know if it's wise to add a further unknown into the equation.
Remember what I said earlier? The usual answer to if you talk about a player's age. Here we go.
It's not just about the age. It's like when people like bring up Yamal, for example, and it's like, well, first of all, he's like a generational player, so it doesn't work. It's also about experience. It's also just about fundamentally what level they are at as a player. And it is also just about what is the context of the club. Like City right now are in a relatively not stable state because we don't know really what's going on. We don't really know what's our best defenses, what's the best midfield, what's the best attack. There's so many new signings to come into the side. It's the context that the club is at as well. All of that added together.
And the league as well. And the league, they only really need to play 6 games a season. Don't matter. The rest of them are just sort of dead rubbers most of the time.
And by the way, people, I'm not saying, right, that Kusanov shouldn't be given a chance. I'm also not saying if Juma Bar was at the club, that he shouldn't be given a chance. What I'm saying is to think that a centre-back partnership of those two defenders is going to come in and stabilise Manchester City is insane, right? I certainly do. I mean, personally, I think Kusanov has looked good most games he's played in. I'm a big advocate of him. But I am with you, Nobbins. I think at the moment you're spot on with the goalkeeper we have. Let's part that away. Do we think that at this point maybe Diaz needs dropping as well? Just actually his performances have got to a point where he needs dropping.
I was quite vocal on LB's channel the other day and I got rinsed for this. So I might as well do it here while these lot haven't heard it.
Go on.
So as I think I'm very similar to Nobbins, the way you watch the game, you don't just watch what's happening on the screen. You take a note of what's going on elsewhere. And if you're a match going blue, especially if you can see the whole pitch, like the whole tactical angle.
Yes.
Somebody like Ruben Diaz, who is very instrumental on the pitch in terms of his look. Let me preface this by saying he's playing very, very below standard right now. So from what I'm going to say, it's quite a bit critical, but you need somebody who is able to orchestrate the defence, the team. His arms are here, his arms are there. He's very, very organised. However, he's not doing the best himself. He's trying to get the best of everyone else. So for me, Diaz, you take him out of the team and you put an inexperienced player at the back in there with him. Without him, you lose an awful lot of somebody who understands the way the team play, where people need to be. You know, his people skills on the pitch are really, really good and are really important. We don't have that anyone else. John Stones isn't one of the most vocal defenders. Guardiola,
no, he's never been.
Kusanov isn't going to be that. We've all seen Akanji can't be that guy. Akanji's like a mouse on the pitch. So if you take out Diaz and his leadership, it makes us weaker significantly at the back. Now, however, if he was playing like he was in the first 3 years, I don't think anybody would say anything.
No,
but because his form's dipped, then yeah, it is up for question. And yeah, he should rightly probably end up being dropped. But I think by having inexperienced players at the back, especially like Nobbins has mentioned, with a keeper that isn't necessarily solid at the back with a ball, you're taking out something that is really instrumental to the team in Diaz. You're only going to end up with errors and people out of position and stuff more often because you haven't got a leader. We haven't really. Who else was a leader on the pitch? Also,
leadership don't win you games.
Yes,
it really fucking
yes,
does.
It does.
Sorry, it does, bro.
Have you seen
Go and look at Vincent Kompany.
Go and see every team that's won the Premier League.
Come on,
that's won the Premier League has got leaders. They've done it. Even that class of '92, that season where he said, Alan Hansen said, you can't win anything from the kids. You can't. But when you've got Roy Keane in there, you've got Brian McClare, you've got experienced players. You need experience. You can't do the FIFA thing where you put 22-year-olds in a position and get 100 chemistry and think you're going to win the league. It's not the real world.
So do you know what? But here's the thing in football, right? Balance is everything. In fact, do you know what? I'll actually say in life, not just football. Balance is everything, right? So I'm not saying experience and leadership is everything, right? But it is important, this downplaying of experience. And I think you look at that game at the moment. And also, if we talk on the defense right now, right, we're talking about, you know what, drop Diaz, drop maybe even Stones, bring in the young lads and great, right? We've also just been speaking about that midfield and how inexperienced our midfield is, right? And we're not just talking, we're talking about with this system, right? So when Rodri is back fully fit and playing, right, then, all right, there might be a bit less need for as much experience at the back because we've got Rodri in there. When we have a DM in there that ultimately is in his first, 15 games for the club, to then have no experience there, when you've also got a goalkeeper who's pretty inexperienced with the whole system as well. Come on, you need some people that understand the system. Also, one thing last season we did, there was a lot of Foden as an example. I heard quite a few people say, look, yeah, Foden has really suffered by not having Rodri there. We've got to remember the defence is also suffering, right? The DM role is the biggest protection of that defence that you have, right? And we don't have him there. So I think it is fair to say, will Ruben Diaz's performance improve when Rodri is in front of him? Probably.
The same way, everyone will improve because if you've got arguably the best player in the world playing for you.
Yeah,
definitely. Sorry, do you want to move on?
No. Please carry on.
I was just going to say that in an ideal world, I probably would have my partnership probably would be for the most part Gvardiol Diaz because I think that their traits complement one another. Gvardiol a bit more passive, Diaz a bit more aggressive, whatever. The reason why I would drop Diaz personally I love Diaz and I don't want to have to drop him because I do like him a lot and I do take Pulpy. I agree with a lot of what Pulpy said about like the leadership. There are especially with defenders, there are intangibles in the game that I don't think can really be quantified. And I think that Diaz does have a lot of that, and a lot of that is valuable. But the way I'm viewing it is that if Gvardiol must play. That's my first port of call. Gvardiol has to play.
On your 5 things we learned,
and he's left-footed. So that's the left centre-back slot. That is Diaz's primary slot. When it was a treble year, Diaz played left centre-back, Stones right centre-back. And as I say, I would like short-term, I would have Gvardiol Diaz, and longer-term, I would have Gvardiol Kusanov. But as I say, my main concern is I need to try to bolster that build-up as much as possible. And so that's the way I'm framing the argument. And for me, Diaz doesn't fit in there because it has to be Stones. And again, I don't want that to be the partnership because I don't think Gvardiol and Stones as a partnership is actually better than Stones and Diaz as a partnership or Gvardiol and Diaz as a partnership, because I think Gvardiol and Stones were actually a little bit too similar in how they approach defending. And I don't want that, but I think it's more about necessity right now rather than what I want to happen. I don't know if that makes sense, but
no, it makes perfect sense. Look, because there's people in here now that will be shitting on Diaz in the comments, but I'm pretty confident that when we signed Gvardiol, 99% of Manchester City fans were licking their lips at the thought of a Gvardiol-Diaz partnership, right? I know I was, right? Now, Diaz for me, yes, his form has dropped off. And I am at the point now where I think, yes, someone said it conveniently, Ruben got an injury on Saturday. So potentially he's going to be dropped for Brighton anyway. Nobbins, I presume, by the way, with this whole focus on passing out from the back and off the back of the weekend, you're not being reactionary and saying, actually, do you know what? Drop Trafford, bring in Donnarumma.
Yeah. I don't think it would be wise to bring in a worse on-ball goalkeeper after watching that match where we struggled to build up from the back at times. That's my hot take.
You'd keep Edison at this point, probably.
That's what I've wanted to do this whole time.
Yeah.
I think people have misunderstood my thoughts on the goalkeeping situation. This is going to sound really mean. I never wanted Trafford. I didn't want Trafford at City. I wanted one of Chevalier or Costa. First and foremost. I did not want Trafford at this football club.
Or Garcia? Would you? Garcia?
Well, by the time I was finalising my thoughts, he'd already gone to Barca.
He'd already gone, right, okay. Fair.
So that sounds mean, but I just need to make that clear. I didn't want Trafford, but the fact is he's here now. Okay, so that's the situation. And I was concerned because I was like, can he make that step up from being very good with Burnley to being very good with City? And that's why I was concerned about Ederson leaving, Trafford being the number one. I liked the idea of when it came out, was it David Ornstein who said it? I can't remember. The idea was that City want to keep Ederson and Trafford for this season, Ederson to be the number one, and then maybe at some point, because Ederson the last couple of seasons has picked up injuries, hasn't he? So maybe there comes a point where Trafford comes in. If he performs well, maybe he just takes over naturally, or it can basically be a more easy, natural transition to him potentially being the number one. And you can more readily go, right, is he actually good enough to step up and be the number one next year? Okay, we keep him, we go again, move on Ederson, bringing it back up. He flattered to deceive in the games he played. No, we need to move him on, get in another goalkeeper next summer. That's a problem for next year. That's what I thought we were going to do. That's what I would have wanted to do.
That's what we were, by the way, I think that's what we were all, me personally, I was definitely happy with when we got told, look, this is how it's going to be. And then the Donnarumma thing started I'm going to say out of nowhere, but ultimately out of the fact that he didn't get offered. I mean, it wasn't City driven, was it? None of this was City driven for me. It was City just got opportunity came up. I don't think it was City going out saying someone saying out of Italy. Yeah. I'm with you, bro. I'm with you. Was Ederson injured at the weekend, by the way?
He was on the bench.
Yeah,
he was on the bench.
So it was a decision.
Yeah. And again, I get it. Transfer things going on, but he should have started because there was a world where Spurs were going to play man to man and do what they did against as Brentford. I think Ederson should have started that game for me. But hey, maybe it's indicative of he's not staying. So what's the point? Perhaps. Yeah. I don't know. I mean,
I'll be honest. I was one that was saying I wouldn't start Ederson because of the fact that I felt he is an emotional person and that with all of this going on, would his head be in the right place or not? So that being said, I mean, we're Tuesday. Doesn't look like he's any closer to Galatasaray for me. Do you think he starts against Brighton? Or now, is it one of those ones where you don't drop Trafford because if you drop him, it's a long road back for him?
You can't drop Trafford now, I think, for a number of reasons. Partly because Ederson's probably... Is it Saturday, the game?
Yes, I believe it is.
No, I think
it's Sunday. It's Sunday.
It's Sunday. Okay. And the transfer window closes Monday. So I'd assume that the deal's either going to have happened then or is basically happened, but just needs to be, the I's dotted and all that stuff. So I don't think it makes sense to start him for that. But also, even if it isn't the case, Trafford might view it, whether subconsciously or not, as, oh my God, I made this error I'm experienced and now I've just been dropped, and his confidence might go through the floor. It might plummet.
Yeah,
so I don't.
You can't kill him for that. You can't kill him twice, can you?
Yeah, so that would be an error, I think, to do that on both counts.
I think
even if Donnarumma signs tomorrow, I still think Trafford starts.
Yeah.
I do feel. Look, it's a difficult time for Trafford, right? The fact that he's going into the game against Tottenham, still not knowing if we're bringing in Donnarumma or not. The guy's having a lot to deal with. But you know what? Even with the playing out from the back thing, right? Remember Stones' first season at City? How much Pep used to have to come out and say, look, I'm pretty certain it was Stones that Pep coming out and saying he's got bigger kahunas than anyone in the room, playing my system out from the back, especially with the other people he had around him. So someone just made a really good comment up here about I was prepared for Trafford mistakes. And maybe that is valid that he's going to make them.
You have to be. There'll be more. Spoiler, there's going to be more.
Yeah.
There will be more. And there'll probably be more before end of September.
Yeah.
Probably that'll cost us a goal.
And the light at the end of the tunnel or whatever is that the hope, whatever, is that because he's only 22, this is now his second season in the top flight, and because he's a City Academy lad, you'd like to think that decision making on ball is just going to improve as well, wouldn't you? You'd like to think that anyway, for sure.
Do you remember when David Raya first signed for Arsenal? What happened to him when he first started?
Yeah,
he had a shocking first 3 months, didn't he?
Yeah, I think
because they took Ramsdale out and put him in, and he was dropping bollocks left, right, and centre.
I actually do
look at Ryan now.
I think with keepers often, mistakes really can be what can make or break a goalkeeper, right? And even more so, it's do they change their playing style based on one mistake? And I never think a goalkeeper should, right? Because it's this is your style of playing football. The minute you start doubting yourself and doubting your style of playing football, that's where everything goes wrong. Good question here from Outdoor Bench. Does Donnarumma bring confidence to our back line? Now,
Depends.
I think you have to split that into two, right? On the ball and off the ball.
Exactly. That's it, isn't it? It would definitely instill more confidence when you're defending, because we know that he can be, emphasis on can, be an elite shot stopper.
Yeah.
But if it's a goal kick and Pep's still going, right, okay, come on, lads, let's all play out from the back, nice small space passing and whatnot. I don't see why he would have any confidence. PSG certainly didn't have it. Enrique didn't have any confidence in him. That's why he didn't bother to try to improve his goalkeeping. Vitinha didn't have any confidence in him. That's why he dropped deep and took goal kicks for him.
Yeah.
So it splits definitely.
I mean, you guys can jump in on this. I can't. Every time, for instance, like you replay that Son moment from last season or the season before, or whatever, when he goes through 1-on-1 against Spurs away. I didn't think Ortega was going to save that. I would never have thought Ederson would have saved that. The last keeper I had any confidence in that would save a 1-on-1 was probably Joe Hart.
Yeah.
But now I feel like if that was Donnarumma in there against that chance, I would expect Donnarumma to save that, just like Alisson, just like a Courtois, just like, these world-class goalkeepers who have got that in them. I'd expect somebody like that to make that save more times than he wouldn't. And I don't think we've had that. Like I say, if that was Ederson in goal against Spurs, I think that goes in. Ortega made a great save, but I don't think he saves that more time than he doesn't. So the confidence in me in a defensive line would be, if we concede a clear 1-on-1, I'd expect Donnarumma to come out on top more times than he doesn't.
So let's Brighton at the weekend. We're keeping Trafford in. What changes are you making? Bernardo back in the team, I presume?
I think that...
Oh, Nobbins.
Sorry.
Nobbins. Please carry on.
Guardiola has to start. Rodri has to start. Foden has to start. Those are my non-negotiables.
Whoa.
They have to.
Whoa.
We looked so much better when Rodri and Foden were on, and we need Guardiola. Those are my non-negotiables.
I think, for me, I think Vardiol should be back and fit as well. From what the injury was, I think he should be ready as well. And
if Rodri plays back fit, I go with... I say, if I know he's not playing, then Guardiola plays left back. The same, and then Núñez right back, and then Bernardo's got to start in midfield and Foden on the right. And I'd be happy with that change.
Wait, so you're dropping Bob?
I'd drop Bob for Foden, yeah. I'll Oscar Bob, but I need Foden in that team.
Yeah.
And I'd drop Shirky out and put Bernardo in. Unless Rodri's 100% fit, then he's also coming as well, and that means Nico's out too.
And you leaving Rico in?
Yeah.
Or with Foden, would you go in Núñez? With Foden on the
right?
No,
I'd leave Rico in.
Leave Rico in. I don't know. I think
he was quite good in the first game, and he wasn't the worst player on the pitch against Spurs. So
I just think with Foden on the right, maybe instead of Bob, you could potentially play Núñez so that Núñez is covering that right position if Foden does want to drift inside a little bit.
I think we lose too much with, like in the build-up. I think we need Rico in the build-up.
Yeah, fair.
Just do. More than we do need Núñez's pace against Brighton. Because Brighton aren't that good at the minute anyway. So,
you the same, Nobbins?
No, I'd play Foden in the position he came on against Spurs.
Right, okay.
Not the right.
Not the right. Yeah. What? So you'd keep Bob on the right?
Yes.
Drop Cherky for Foden.
I think Bob's been our best player. I know it's earlier in the season. I think Bob's been our best player. I'm going to reward him with another start.
Yeah.
If I was the manager.
Against it, I just want to see Foden and seem to be fair.
I think Bob. Do you know? I actually think Bob. I thought Bob, when he got subbed off, I thought Bob was growing into the game quite well. When he got subbed off, I thought, at that point, Bob was maybe looking like one of our better players. But yeah, so I'm interested with the Foden. Do we think Rodri is close to being ready now? Oh, that's the only thing. Or you give zero shits, you'd risk him.
Well, no. If he's not ready, he's not ready. But he was ready to come on for 15 minutes against Spurs when we were 2-0 down. Apart from the rusty moment with the header back, he looked very good. So of course, it depends on full fitness. But if the medical team say he's fully fit, he's ready to go, then at some point you've got to bite the bullet and you've got to start him, haven't you? At some point.
I agree with you. Sorry, people are just saying check LB's retweet. What is LB's retweet? Are you really meaning that retweet from an hour ago? Yeah, I'm not really. I sort of seen that already. Is that what you lot are meaning? Are you lot really meaning that retweet from an hour ago from LB?
What's the context?
It's basically, so I'll read it to you, bro. PSG and Manchester City have not progressed in negotiations for Gianluigi Donnarumma. The English club have made one offer at the moment worth 15 million, far below PSG's expectations, who request a fee of 25 to 30 million.
What's the source? Is it good?
The source is Tanziloik.
That means nothing to me. I don't know why I asked that question because I don't know anything. I don't know anything about sources.
That deal's not going to fall apart because of a transfer fee. It's just not.
No,
not when you're arguing over what is
effectively
a 5 million swing.
Yeah, and look, if maybe that's the way it is at the moment, that it's the way Viana's moving. This is the way Viana's moving. I know that
I think it all comes down to whether all this Galatasaray nonsense. Have they got the money to buy anyone they want? Are they going to go through with it?
Yeah.
Are they just disrupting the market for the sake? I don't know. Just if Galatasaray have got the money, pay the money, then players move. They're in for everyone. They're in for loads of people right now.
I just, after that game at the weekend, the whole Donnarumma thing, I still don't know. I still am not too sure where I am on it, because he definitely is a better shot stopper, right? But
yes,
after watching that at the weekend, it's kind of like, I'm with Nobbins. We could be seeing more of that, right? If we bring in Donnarumma, we could be seeing more of that. That could become a regular thing, this playing out from the back and being caught playing out from the back and not really being able to play out from the back. So, yeah, it's one of those ones where Donnarumma, yes, he won PSG a Champions League, but I'm still not. And as for Rodrigo, if that's dead in the water, I guess that means Savio stays. We will see on that one. We will see on that one over the next couple of days. But right, I really do appreciate both of you coming on and helping me to try and understand the game at the weekend. Yeah. Now we've got Brighton away, which is by far from an easy game. But yeah, we will see. We will see, people. Nobbins, did you say you've already done a match reaction, I presume? What have you got? Anything else coming up?
Yeah, so I did an analysis video of it. So if you want my more in-depth thoughts on it, then go and watch that. And I also uploaded today an Ask Nobbins video. It's like a Q&A thing where people ask me questions such as, what's our best centre-back partnership? What formation should we play? What's Doku's best role? Blah, 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 blah.
Yep. Okay, brilliant. I might give that a watch as well. But they're good
You mean
questions.
might? That's not good enough. Crazy.
Right. I'm going to watch it. And this time next week, please bring some pre-prepared questions to make sure that you can test if I have watched it.
You can leave a comment if you want, and I'll answer it,
So hold on. So where did you get the questions from?
The comment section. People ask me questions in the comment section.
Ah, right. Got you. It was alive. Yeah. Ignore me. It was
No,
alive.
it's not alive. It's not alive. They leave a comment on the previous Ask Nobbins,
right,
and they answer them on the subsequent one.
Ah, got you. Okay. Poppy, I was going to ask you if you've got anything coming up.
Well, I don't do anything. I just talk about this on Twitter. But did you see before Nobbins when Grok roasted you in my post?
Yeah, that annoyed. LB texted me that. What's that all about? Where that comes from?
That, a post where I tagged all the content creators and said someone in here's got an agenda. Someone asked Grok, and Grok coming straight in on Nobbins and said it's definitely Nobbins. Definitely.
Well, what's that all about? That's outrageous.
What did they say?
It said that I'm biased because I don't like Donnarumma or something.
Yeah, these recent streams about Donnarumma or something. It's obviously Nobbins with it.
As if I've not been spending however many hours watching him to try to formulate a good opinion. And this AI knobhead is saying that I'm biased.
Hold on. So does that mean that AI is starting to get emotions?
It's picking up on Nobbins' emotions. So
trying to read them.
Yeah. AI is starting to basically question Nobbins.
Well, to be fair, I've said about agendas, and it mustn't have done much research, because if they'd gone back 7 years ago, you'd have seen my Myra's agenda out in the open, and it would have got all me. But
but yeah, right, people. I am back now, so I will be doing more content. I will. Tomorrow, if I don't go, I will not be going live tomorrow morning because I'm taking my daughter to London Dungeons. But I will release a video tomorrow morning, and then I will be back at 9 p.m. tomorrow evening with the panel that you either love or you hate: Hamza, Patrick, Jacob, and Kells. So. I guess the best way to describe that show is...
I come here for a fucking shootout, right? A proper...
So I will see you then. Until then, thanks for watching, and have a good evening. This is going to, by the way, redirect over to Big Six Bounce. If you could just smash a like and say South Stand Raid. And until tomorrow, we're out. Peace, people.